Hi, this is Christophe Clermont and I would like to welcome you to my first Printess recording. This is a series of recordings about the templates that you find on the website and how they were built, not entirely, but for each of the templates we will look in particularly interesting areas which actually set them apart from other templates. Today it's about the newborn card. You will find it when you're logged in and you go to the new button here in the start screen, and then you simply can double click on it and you are there. It opens up in the buyer side, so that means it's actually the buyer view which you will see in the shop and the same one you can test on the website. But what we will focus on today is also how it's been built. So we look at the admin side and we look how the things are actually designed. So on the buyer side, it's an extremely simple template. So we can click on the text areas here, we can click on the images, we can upload our own images, we can exchange images, we can scale them, we can pan them. So all the typical things a buyer would do. We can change the name, for example, and if we go to the second side, which we also can do via the page button, we can click on the text inside the box here and we can inline edit that text and make it to fit to our needs. With this template, there is one more thing. You can change the color scheme. So with a single click of a button, you can change from blue to pink to green or grayish. And this is pretty nice. And that actually extends this template to multiple templates, but it doesn't need you to require to maintain multiple templates, which is a large advantage here. There is a little shopping basket on top here, which actually brings you from the administration to the buyer side. So now we are in the administration side and we can actually select all the frames, we can move them around. All of these frames are basically image frames or text frames, so nothing spectacular. But all of them also have, when you go to the last setting here, that shopping basket icon. And that actually allows you to set what the buyer can later change in these images. So in that case, for example, it's content and the image group is buyer upload. Buyer upload is a default image group, which every image goes into which the buyer uploads on your website. So having that image group selected means that somebody can upload their own images, which actually means also that they can place them and change the position, because otherwise uploading wouldn't make much sense. Looking on the second page, we have a multi-line text frame. So Printess supports two kinds of text frames. One is a single line text frame, which is actually like this, and it adjusts automatically to the size of the frame. It's very handy for small text, but once we go to longer text, we use multi-line text frames. When working with multi-line text frames in the buyer side, there's one detail which is extremely important but easily overlooked. So we will now investigate that. Let's go to the buyer side here. Now I select all the text and start typing my own stuff. Even that works perfectly. But now I'm actually selecting all the text, pressing backspace or delete, and then start typing. You might recognize that all my styles have gone. This text frame is set back to its default because the default is Note sans 12 point, and this is exactly what we see. So what can we do to counteract this problem? So when I'm in the text frame, I have a text style selected here. So I actually made my font 18 point, my line height is 150%, and the text is centered, and this is the selected font. I want to conserve that settings even if the customer actually deleted the entire text. I can only do that with a style, with a text style. And the way how I do that, it's pretty simple. I just place my cursor somewhere in that paragraph to be sure to do not get a character style, but really the paragraph styles. Then I press a little plus here on paragraph style. And then I set this checker, set as base style for selected frame, because a base style overrides the Note sans 12 point thing with my own style. So let's call it text base and then create. So what happened now is that my text frame has a new base style, which is text base, which is, by the way, the same style that you see for the frame here. So it's identically, but to get a little bit more handy, we actually added this over here as well. And the system has automatically created a text style for us based on the settings. And now, if I go to the buyer side, I can actually click on that frame. I can press backspace And no matter what I do, I always have my style preserved. The other interesting thing is the color scheme. So the color scheme basically is just a form field which pops up in the Printess administration interface as well as on the buyer side, and it simply works. So how does the system know to create this control? That's because we are using colors, and these colors are actually an example. They are named color 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're actually existing multiple times. So whenever we want, we can go on that folder icon here, we can create another color group, and in this color group we can copy and paste these colors. So every color can exist multiple times. And what you might recognize on my screen is that this one looks more enabled here, whereby the blue and the cream are looking disabled. When I now go to the form fields and change from pink to blue, that automatically changes here. So now the blue is enabled and the pink is disabled. So that's the entire trick. That's everything we need to do. We just have to copy our colors, put them in different folders, and voila, we have color schemes. That's all for today's tutorial on the newborn card, and I'm looking forward to you to visit my other tutorials about even more thrilling templates. Thank you for listening.